The fight continues in Great British Menu, and the competition is fiercer than ever, as the nation's top chefs are being challenged to cook for the ultimate street party, to be held in the cobbled streets of historic Leadenhall Market. Inspired by the Big Lunch, an annual event that encourages people across the nation to cook and eat with their neighbours, our chefs are battling to create spectacular dishes that are perfect to share.
It's so important for the food to bring people together, to inspire people through conversation and really have a party atmosphere at the banquet this year.
This week it's the turn of the Northwest, and three talented chefs, Lisa Allen, Bruno Birkbeck and Johnny Mountain. Today's battle over the starters will see crispy suckling pig pancakes and dips, a take on a classic ploughman's, and an elaborate Indian feast vie for the top score. Each chef is determined to prove that they have what it takes.
I want a place in that final, and I've got to fight for a place in that final, and it ain't going to be easy.
I think you've definitely got to go to win. You've got to put your heart and soul into it.
Can I win it this year is a massive yes. It's not can, it's not if, it's not when. I'm going to win it this year.
This year's competition is all about celebrating food to share, magnificent platters that are a feast for the eyes and get people talking.
I think this brief, it has been difficult, also been exciting.
This is a big difference from your hotel to our little church hall, isn't it?
Ultimately, you want that dish to taste absolutely fantastic, but then it's got to have the theatre with it.
It is a tough competition, and this year it's even tougher. This year is the biggest challenge of all.
But to be in with a chance of getting to the banquet, they must first impress one of the nation's top chefs. He's got 2 Michelin stars to his name and had the honour of cooking for the Queen at her birthday banquet. So this is a chef with the very highest standards. It's Marcus Waring.
The pressure's on. This is it. First course, first day. I think I'm going to be in for some shocks. I think I'm going to be in for some surprises. Could be some big car crashes in there. There could be some disasters.
First to meet Marcus today will be Lisa Allen, head chef at the Michelin-starred Northcote in Lancashire.
Can order 1 cover, 1 gourmet.
A perfectionist in the kitchen. Last year, Lisa won the honour of serving the starter at the Great British Menu banquet with her accomplished and inventive modern British cooking.
Thank you very much.
The pastry was so good.
But with an even tougher brief this year, can she possibly succeed again?
Hello, Lisa.
Hi, how are you?
Very well. Tell me about this dish.
I'm doing crispy pork with pancakes and dips. Basically, I've taken influence of Chinese, because to me it's something that my family love to do, is go to Chinese and eat pancakes. But I've turned it very British by using British and local ingredients.
Okay, so the concept is Chinese,
yeah,
the sharing
concept, yeah.
idea. How's this going to look?
Yeah, I've got a big slate Lazy Susan, if you would, with all old English crockery on there. So you've got old English pots full of jugs with the sauce in, the pancakes are in an old pot, and then you're going to have to shred your pork yourself at the table.
So Lisa's dish would undoubtedly be popular with her family. But does Marcus think it will be right for the People's Banquet?
It leaves a question mark for me. Although it's very simple, it could be a disaster, it could be completely overcooked and dry, it might not be spectacular enough. I'm just a little bit uncertain about this dish at the moment.
Next up, it's returning competitor Johnny Mountain.
Check on, boys and girls, Rien avant. 3 bellies, 1 meatball.
Originally from Preston, Johnny has recently opened the English Pig in the City of London, which serves traditional dishes given creative and exciting twists.
I'm not too formal, I'm not aiming at one particular style. It's got to be for everybody. And so my People's Banquet is every day in my restaurant.
After a roller coaster ride in last year's competition that saw him crash out before even cooking for the judges, can he redeem himself this time?
This year, I'm going to start strong, I'm going to be nice and steady in the middle, and I'm going to finish with a massive wow factor. There is no way that I'm going home after the first round. No way.
Welcome back, good to see you again.
Thank you, sir, lovely to see you.
This year my outlook's completely different.
Good, man. I've taken a year to get this right.
Well, this looks like a very interesting box of ingredients.
It's my Indian feast of bhajia, kanvi and beer pani puri.
Okay. My wife's Indian. This is what we cook on a daily basis.
So, Johnny, as a sharing platter, how's this going to look, this particular dish?
It is about sharing this year, and so the visual impact is going to be massive. This is proper Indian food.
So that's a big box of ingredients there. It looks very confusing.
This is only half of it. There's about 120 ingredients.
So you've got a lot to do.
I'm going to ask Bruno to give me a hand, to be honest.
Always the gambler, Johnny is banking on his elaborate Indian feast winning him top marks. But has he taken on too much?
It's quite interesting with Johnny. Don't think he's scared by that box of ingredients. The only problem with Johnny and Johnny's cooking and in his dish is Johnny.
Last but by no means least is newcomer Bruno Birkbeck, who's originally from Cumbria but now works in one of Scotland's finest country house hotels, the Torridon.
From Cumbria, always going to be a Cumbrian lad. Never move away from that.
It's only a few short years since Lisa worked under him at Northcote, so he'll be hoping his refined but hearty cooking gets him top marks and puts one over on his former workmate.
Lisa's become a fantastic chef, but obviously I've moved on leaps and bounds, and I think I could win this competition because it's honest food, very hearty, simple cuisine, just done well really. I don't think you can get better than that.
Morning, Bruno.
Hello, Chef.
Welcome.
How are you doing?
Good, good, good. First of all, what's the name of your dish?
I've got a take on a classic ploughman's. I'm making a terrine. So we've got like a pig's cheek terrine, and then we're just going to put a julienne cabbage and a bit of duck fat in that as well. So I've got like a little plate for each person.
All right, okay.
And then there's a terrine on the slate. We've got a little shandy shot by the side of it, and then a chutney on the side.
Okay. Is it a real sharing dish?
The part of it that's sharing is the terrine, and then you've actually got the chutney as well. That's designed to sort of like to be shared between the two.
Bruno's hoping his technically ambitious take on a time-honoured pub favourite will give him the edge.
It's a tough one there for Bruno. There could be a bit of creativity in some of the quirky little bits that he's doing, but it's very safe, ploughman's. It's not very adventurous. There may not be the massive wow factor.
In the kitchen, the chefs get straight down to work, but always keep a close eye on the opposition.
I think it's a new slate, new competition.
Yeah, he seems a bit of a boy over there in the corner though, doesn't he, like?
Never underestimate the mountain.
Is it like Johnny versus you two? I can feel that going on already. Listen, if you want to fight outside, all of you, I'll take you all on. Lisa is the one to beat, but what I've got to remember is Bruno was the man that taught her what she knows. So I'm really up against the wall.
As returning champion, Lisa knows she's square in the sights of her rivals, and that includes her former colleague.
I was only a young nipper when he was in the kitchen. To be going up against him ultimately puts the frighteners in me because he's such a fantastic cook.
And Bruno is certainly not underestimating the calibre of the competition.
I mean, nervous as hell, yeah, cooking against them. They're both very, very good chefs, and obviously with Lisa, I know how good she can cook as it is. She's a fantastic chef.
But whatever their opinions on each other, it's Marcus who holds their fate in his hands. He'll be awarding his highest marks to the dishes he deems perfect to share and spectacular enough to wow the guests at the People's Banquet.
I'm a very critical chef. I'm looking for excellence all the way through every single process. To that finished dish, I'm going to be judging them on, and I'm not going to give them an inch either.
All three chefs have a lot to do to ensure that their starters are perfect, but they can't help being curious about their rivals' recipes.
So, Lisa, what are you doing?
Just making my pancakes.
You making pancakes.
I am.
Not too keen on this mixture.
No?
Does the sage not go bitter?
You'll be trying them later, so
bitter and twisted.
What, like you?
You must have plenty of time in your hands, like messing about, eh?
That's what I thought. He's doing my work for me, and he's going to be behind with his dish.
The idea of it, making your own stuff, you know, getting your hands in, and people making their own dishes, almost, isn't it? It's not sure about the sage in the pancakes.
So Johnny has his doubts about Lisa's dish, and he may not be alone. Despite her success last year, Marcus won't be cutting her any slack.
Yeah, Lisa, just traditional pancake?
Yeah, traditional English recipe.
Is that sage? Is that an important flavouring in this dish? Is it?
I think so, like sage and apple.
Is it used in the cooking of the pork as well?
Only just a sprinkle on after.
Okay.
We'll see.
Lisa, I think she's playing it very, very, very safe with that dish. It almost seems a little bit boring. There seems to be a little sparkle missing there. She was the winner last year. She should be larger than life.
The challenge for the chefs this year is to come up with spectacular sharing platters for the People's Banquet by drawing on their own experiences of how food can bring people together. Lisa found inspiration for her menu from family meals out and from the camaraderie of the kitchen where she works in Lancashire.
The first day I put the chef's jacket on, you know, you can feel that intense that you wanted to get into a kitchen. You know, I really love that physical contact of being able to work with food and create some fantastic things.
She has first-hand experience of how a love of food can get people talking.
Food is great to have that interaction over, to break down the barriers, to bring people together. To me, it makes you feel at ease when you've got something to, you know, look at and taste and eat together. Ultimately, it gives that conversation. And I think it's a great thing to, you know, to be able to communicate over.
So a surprise visit from Bruno to his former workplace brings lots of shared memories flooding back.
You know what gets me is that, you know, you're obviously my sous chef when I was here, when I was demi chef at the party.
Yeah.
Shouting across, "Hey, come on now, hurry up!" Probably you're gonna have to redo it, probably, but pass it off and let's have a look at it. The old memories when you come back into the kitchen.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's makes me want to chuck an apron on and get involved, like, you know.
You always want that talking point about your food, whether it is at the banquet or it's your plate of food in the restaurant. And this time you want people to walk away from the banquet thinking, that's fantastic food, the theatre was great, and I really want to eat it again.
Back in the kitchen, Johnny may be making the most noise.
Kemcho, majama marudikru bofainche.
All right, we'll leave it at that then, yeah?
But he still cooked only one part of his intricate feast of Indian finger foods.
So, Johnny, are you still doing them magic puffs?
Magic Puff the Magic Dragon is now finished.
They look pretty trendy, don't they?
They're quite smart, aren't they?
Lovely.
And what I'm going to do is crack the top and put a lot of really strong flavours in, so you'll pick it up, eat it in one gone.
Fantastic.
Like a little canapé.
You've been cooking those puffs for about 35 minutes now. What else are you doing?
So I don't want to talk to it.
Meanwhile, Bruno is well into the prep for his refined ploughmans, which will also include a chutney, creamy cheese beignet and poached quail eggs. But he'll need to convince Marcus that this is a generous dish for a street party and not a precise plate for a restaurant.
How you doing, Bruno?
Hello, chef.
You all right?
Yeah, good.
We're up and running?
Up and running.
Yeah.
Away.
So is that a layer on? They're all different individual layers?
Just individual layers. So we started off with cabbage, then we're going on to the ham, and then the pig.
Okay.
I think with Bruno, I think it is the novice. He's got a lot to prove. He's got two veterans in there with him. He wants to make a big impact, and he wants to do more than just a plateau of food. Could be his downfall. You'll see.
Bruno's first experiences of sharing food were from his childhood. So he headed to his hometown of Kendal in Cumbria to gain inspiration from the place where his love affair with cooking first started, at his mother's side.
I prefer to eat Mum's cooking. She's a better cook than me. Whenever you were cooking, he was there. He had to help. He had to be involved. And he has always made things to share. So it's going to be fantastic for him. Oh, the Mother's Day cake you made me. Well, there you are, you're even cutting into it now to share it out for us. So he's always shared. This is the beauty of him.
Her influence didn't stop there, as she was once a cook at the local primary school.
Oh my word.
Oh, it's a bit smaller.
It is smaller.
She worked hard to produce food for the school kids, and now he wants to do her proud and give her her reward.
If I get through to the People's Banquet and cook at the final, I'd love for yourself to come to the People's Banquet to, eat one of my dishes, hopefully. But we've got to get there first.
Inspired by his mum, Bruno is now more determined than ever to win with his menu of bold Northwest flavours, cooked with accomplished skill.
At the end of the day, it's all about precision. And it's all about the passion inside me, wanting to get the best onto a plate. To win the competition would be amazing.
Back in the kitchen, work continues under Marcus's watchful eye. Bruno cubes Kendal cheese for his beignet, which he'll panne in flour, egg and breadcrumbs.